today's topic, which is AI for entrepreneurs, a new partner. It is about exploring AI's transformative impact on entrepreneurship to explore AI applications in marketing, customer service, and various other sectors of being an entrepreneur. We will also be sharing some success stories of startups leveraging AI for growth. This session is to explore the uh, partnership with our very innovative entrepreneur, the AI, how it is combining with all the aspects of entrepreneurship, and let's explore how we can use it. So with this, let's begin the Gupshup session. Over to you, Deepak sir.
Okay, thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Thanks, Simran, for that initial beginning. I hope my audio visuals are fine. We'll just
Yes, sir, both are fine.
Okay, wonderful. सभी को मेरा सुप्रभात, नमस्कार, good morning on behalf of Lemon Ideas. I'm happy to be part of this another Sunday morning Gupshup. I enjoy the Sunday mornings in spite of having whatever hectic schedule but I'm trying that I maintain this consistency of meeting you all every Sunday. So it's been one of the things I look forward to every Monday. कि next Sunday कब आएगा? So we are here, another episode, another theme as suggested by past participants कि AI is already making a lot of waves. बहुत कुछ बदलने वाला है. जिस तरीके से सोशल मीडिया ने 15 साल पहले हमारी जिंदगी को बदला था, मेरे हिसाब से एआई अगले 10 साल में हमारी जिंदगी को बदलने वाला है. एंड these are some very initial indications that we are already seeing, and I'm happy to have two co-hosts with me again from the Lemon Ideas ecosystem. Namaskar, Sudin ji, welcome. I'm happy to welcome Sudin Barar ji. I think a veteran expert on the technology side, been part of our ecosystem for many years now. I remember his startup a few years back. जिसके नाम में ही AI था, AI on the fly. So I do remember those conversations with Indy, and he's from Pune. He's joining in from Pune, and been involved with a lot of colleges also in terms of digital and technological intervention. So happy to have you, Sudin, as part of my co-host today.
Thank you.
Welcome. Another co-host I have with me is Krish. I'm always happy to have our own entrepreneurs alumni coming to this side of the table now, where Krish has been one of our prominent alumni at Lemon for many, many years. He steered the global startup contest Innopreneurs for almost 3-4 years, and now he's on his own journey of startup. That's what is the stupid part we inculcate with everyone who joins Lemon, and we want them to start their own venture in the future. So happy to have you, Krish. Happy to see you. You look different. I can definitely see. I think. Where are you? I don't think you're in Gwalior.
No, I'm in Bangalore, sir.
Okay, wonderful. Happy to have you, Krish, part of this Gupshup. Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
So we'll get started where the theme for today's discussion is AI for entrepreneurs. So when I look at AI, I think I relate to 1990s when the computer got introduced. So that's what I would probably start with, my own experiences in terms of how has technology transformed our life. So those were the initial times. 1986, the first time I saw any personal computer, खिड़की में से झांक के ऐसा तो पर्दे के अंदर से थोड़ी सी जगह दिख रही थी, तो मैंने ऐसा झांक के देखा था, अरे यार ये कंप्यूटर किस चिड़िया का नाम है. So that was my school days, and it was like, oh my God, उस रूम में जाना मतलब there was such a privilege कि हम कंप्यूटर के लैब में जाके आए. So those were the times, and now I think everybody is carrying a computer in their phone, in their pocket. So that has been a big shift in last, I think, not really many years, but yes, maybe around 35-40 years. So then came the time of automation, where a lot of routine, repeated tasks were being picked up by these so-called computing machines, and they started doing a lot of repeated tasks. They were very clear logic defined by the programmers. I was a programmer a long time back. I'm supposed to be a computer programmer, but I left hardcore programming way back in my very early years of my career. So yes, I understand the basic computing, the basic logic building, the basic programming, the basic software system. So that was the time of automation, where a lot of things started coming up, where we started building a lot of management systems. So those were the times where any word attached with management system. So it became like a very, very common practice of converting everything that we are doing into a management system. So it could be an enterprise, it could be human, it could be operation, it could be marketing. So all the management were being picked up by the computing power. And then gradually it moves forward. The computing speed became very powerful. The memory storage started becoming very, very big. We had this big floppy pot 256 KB, and we were so happy कि हमारे पास 256 KB memory का floppy है, and now I think we carry gigabytes in just a tiny chip or tiny drive. So I think a lot of things have transformed. Technology has really, really advanced over the last few years in terms of memory space, in terms of the size, in terms of the computing power, in terms of processing ability, and that has been opening a lot of more possibilities in terms of the way it could it could impact in our lives in a positive way. And when we're talking about positive way, there are always some risk involved in terms of the negative manifestations also, which are likely to be a major risk and a caution for all of us. So from those times, I think the automation continued, and then bigger and bigger systems started coming in. Then the social media came, so it has actually transformed the way we talk to people, the way we socialize people, the way we converse people. So this is what we are doing is actually one of the wonderful gifts of the technology, where people joining from different places, different geographies are able to make a conversation live on this platform like Zoom. So this all is the kind of gift which have been given us to by the technology, and I think things have progressed very, very fast in last few years, and now I think what we are seeing is something where how a human intelligence is getting replaced by AI. So AI, though AI is not really a new phenomenon, probably AI was there 10 years back. I remember how the ability of a person to make decisions has been replicated using the computer programming. So that's what I call it artificial intelligence, where the way humans take decisions, if it's replaced by machine, it becomes AI. So it has been there for quite some time. A lot of people have been using AI, but somehow the AI word as a buzzword have recently started becoming popular because of regenerative AI. So AI is not new, but the regenerative AI is very new. Where to me it's like the contextual decision making, this situational decision making, the experiential decision making, जो एक इंसान का विवेक होता है, जो wisdom होती है, जो maturity होती है. If the maturity, vivek, and wisdom of a human being, of you as an individual, I have a different wisdom, I have a different maturity. Everybody will have their own unique set of experiences, and those experiences and those contextual, situational the decisions will influence how they will act in a certain situation. So that is very complex, and that's what is being tried and attempted using the regenerative AI, where how I would react to a situation based on my past experiences. And that's why a lot of data becomes very important when you are building anything around regenerative AI. So that's a quick outlook that I see. It has a lot of positive things, but at the same time, we are a bit concerned also in terms of there is a natural tendency of human beings to pick up some dark implementations and applications of anything which comes to hand, and that's what we keep seeing. We keep seeing around the globe, where any technology leads to some kind of negative destructions as well. So that's obviously the caution, but we are here to look at the positive aspect of how AI is going to influence our life. So when I was thinking on this subject, I could imagine two basic parts of it, and that's why we have two co-hosts with me, and this is where I think one is where using technology at a core, where how your product or how your service or how your delivery to your end customer is going to get influenced because of AI. So this is where if you have a product in place, if you're already or if you're trying to build up a product or a service model, where you will definitely have to look at AI in terms of how AI can really empower you with much more features, characteristics, scalability, and many more things. So that's one aspect of using AI at a technological level where you integrate AI in your product, you integrate AI in your services, you integrate AI in whatever solutioning you have for your customer or for your end user. So that's why AI becomes an integral part of the core of your solutioning. So that's one aspect of it. This second aspect is where you need not be you need not be in a very highly techy solutioning. You may not have a highly technical solution where you would want to integrate AI, but any entrepreneur will have an impact of AI. And this is where the applications of AI tools to make your work, to make your life better. So that's the second aspect where I think we'll look at how AI tools can make our life easier. Where, for example, I've already started probably right now, I think about 10% of my work is around is where somewhere AI has really come into place. But I see in next 1 to 1.5 year, probably this number of 10% might become 40%, where I would want to use AI for a lot of things which probably could be taken over by some chatbots or some AI engine, and I could focus more on the better creative things in my life, which would probably give me much more satisfaction. So I think that is also a very big area. That's where a lot of people have to get aware about using AI tools in their day-to-day life, where they may not be technical, they may not use technology in terms of their solutioning or product, but yes, using AI at a level where how can you whatever things that you have been doing yourself. For example, it could be social media, graphics creation, videos creation, blogs creation, content creation, and more maybe collaboration. There are n number of possibilities which I'm sure my co-host will definitely would want to throw a lot of light around it. So I think those are the possibilities which I think we are here to discuss. And before I pass it on to my co-host, I'll want to acknowledge presence of few of a prominent alumni. Devender, I'm always happy to see you every Sunday morning. Welcome, Devender from Traffic Intelligence, based out of Pune. They are doing fantastic work in automobile testing. I think
Thank you so much.
Shubham has been joining us on a regular basis from Delhi. Happy to see you, Shubham, again on this platform. I think a lot of familiar names in the room right now. I think Venkatesh ji also have been a regular participant. Happy to see you, Venkatesh ji, and I'm happy to see everyone else also. Satakshi, Shannu, Shakshi, Rachit, Manoj, Himanshu. Happy to have you all part of this. Aryan, Ayush, good to have all of you in this Sunday morning, which is not so easy to come on a Sunday morning, because a lot of times people think Saturday night is for a different endeavors and Sunday morning and for the tough. But yes, we would want to use Sunday morning for a different reason. So thank you, everyone. So I think I would first want Sudin ji, over to you, your perspective, how technology is going to impact the kind of solutions we are building for our clients in terms of products and services. So over to you, Sudin ji.
Yeah, thanks, Deepak. So in my view, AI is once in a lifetime opportunity for entrepreneurs, younglings, working professionals, everybody, right, to use AI to really conquer the world. And the kind of explosion that we have seen in the space is just phenomenal, right? Back as head of innovation at State Bank of India some years back, I benchmarked our core banking systems at 24,000 transactions per second, about 1.5 billion transactions a day. And today, the State Bank of India serves more than 500 million customers and more than 700 million accounts. There's the most advanced, scalable core banking system in the world, built in India by Indian technologists. What is the future with AI? In the past, we have been doing analytics on these 1.5 billion transactions. Now we will start using Gen AI, we'll start using accelerated computing, we'll start using data pipelines to build inferencing across these 1.5 billion daily transactions. So AI with the stack like low code, no code, where you can build your progressive web apps as well as mobile apps without writing a single line of code, or maybe writing one line of code. Then there is data pipelines, which is the next generation extraction, transformation, load, or ETL as we call it, which merges the data science along with the AI and ML ops, right? And then there is, of course, newer technologies coming in like Gen AI, which currently can be used for your automated content generation and image generation. And as the transformer models evolve from a B2C, they will also evolve into a B2B, which will have a kind of which we can implement as a wide enterprise AI approach in organizations. So I think this opportunity is going to be 1,000x opportunity, just like cloud. And, come to think of it, wow, cloud is now more than 2 decades old, right? It started early 2000, right? It peaked sometime around 2013, 2014. And now it's become mainstream, right? The entire world is using public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud, multi-cloud. The same way AI with its many different stacks, many different use cases, and with the kind of hardware we are seeing where companies like NVIDIA is going to put in 208 billion transistors on a single chip, right? That's their Blackwell processor, which is going to be launched later this year. So this accelerated computing vision is going to come into everything what we accelerate, right? We'll have to accelerate our development. We'll have to accelerate our data sourcing. We'll have to accelerate our inferencing. We'll have to use these transformer models. So I think it's one of the greatest times in technology for us to be in, right? It's all new, and I think it's a great, especially for India. It's not just about AI software. It's going to be a lot about the AI hardware, the tools, the libraries, and even if we can become the emerging tech and the AI, we are already the IT services capital of the world. But if we can we can really conquer the world by becoming the AI and emerging tech capital of the world. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Sudin, for that context setting in terms of how AI can really get integrated into our solutioning for as an entrepreneur. When we look at startup entrepreneurs, how can really AI make a difference when we're offering a lot of services to our clients? So I think the format of Gupshup that we usually do is where it's highly interactive and it's for a very close community members at Lemon. So it's not an open public invite that we normally give to people. It's for the close community members so that they can be more of interaction. They can gain a lot of learnings from these conversations. And for the benefit of the public at large, these Gupshups are live streamed on YouTube. So that's the kind of format which we use where anybody can really join the YouTube channel or can look at the videos later on, which we keep circulating among our community. But these Zoom rooms are designed to be more of conversation oriented. So I'll quickly move to Krish and then we'll open up for a lot of questions I'm sure participants would have. They would want to have some kind of conversations, and that's what is the very essential part of Gupshup. So over to you, Krish, in terms of how you think the tools will become useful for any common entrepreneur. Maybe they have a tech maybe they have a tech solutioning or not, but how can AI tools impact the way we work today as an entrepreneur? Over to you, Krish.
Amazing. Thank you so much, sir. And Sudin, sir, nice to see you again after so long.
Yeah.
This has been the first time I'm speaking, among the veterans. So I'll probably share my personal experiences that I've had building the AI product. So just for the context, everyone, we are building a very specific use case of, having soft skills analytics on the dashboard for employees. I hope I'm audible.
Yes.
All right. When I see AI, I mean, I keep on traveling a lot. I'm based out of Gwalior, but that gives me the privilege to be in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune, Gurgaon a lot. So almost 15 days I'm out and I keep on meeting, startups here. What I personally realize is the impact that I can see influence life in AI. That is that either you can implement AI for accelerating your own internal processes. So that's one. Second is people are building AI products, layering on the top of the existing models, building a very specific use case. So that is what is happening at large. And the third one is, helping these AI tools being built with many of the tools. Like, I mean, I was sitting in Microsoft's office yesterday and they're launching something called Microsoft AI Lab with models so that you can quickly try it out there on that dashboard only to check that which particular model is working out for me or not. Second is, there is a company called 5C Network. I met them yesterday. They are into radiology scanning of scans and then bringing out the insights from that. So that is again a very specific use case, but they are more onto the foundational layer of it. So the things that you need for radiology scans, they are building the foundational infrastructure for that. So that is another one thing. So there are three things for now. Coming back on the first thing, I personally I've hired a guy in Gwalior only, and that was a very high paying resource in our marketing team. So he can do everything, right? He can shoot, he can edit videos, he can think of content pieces, he can post content pieces, he can write content pieces, he can think of campaigns, he can run advertisement campaigns, he can draw out ROI, correct? But it becomes very tough for him to manage the time, because if he does everything, then it becomes very, very tough. So what we did, we kind of set, for a week of time, and then we listed out the responsibilities that he is into. And then we try integrating AI tools into it. So let's say once the video is being shot, we kind of edit the video using an AI tool. Then we need captions in that video. So we use a tool called Simplify, right? And all of these tools are paid tools only, 1,000-1,500 bucks, but that helps a lot. And then, for other part, for content creation, for content ideation, the foundational layer of that particular thing happens through AI. So one person can actually do the job of four. This is what I've personally experienced, and this is how AI helped us in particularly, running our operations. Second one is building the layering part of it. So, I mean, there are a lot of tools that are being built now. Probably going further, I'll be sharing more case studies on that. But this is how Sudin sir rightly said that this is a very right time. I mean, every company is now looking for that. What can we do in AI? Yesterday, there was a company that was in fintech. That guy traveled from Delhi to Bangalore and he was pitching to an investor. So that's Fluid Ventures. That's again AIF approved out of Gurgaon. So that's an event happening here in Bangalore. And he was pitching them that, okay, we are launching an AI product. And he pitched them, that, okay, we wanted to do something related to the profiling part of it, customer profiling part of it. But when I asked this guy that, okay, how are you going to do that? What is the logic that you're going to use on it? So he said that, okay, we are still figuring it out. So if you see that every company now wanted to become an AI company, they have already kept AI in their name. So if the name is DSH, people now call it DSH.ai. And that has been the kind of adoption that is happening across the world. Probably we'll be talking more about it moving forward.
Yeah, thank you, Krish. And I think you rightly said it has somehow become a trend now to add AI also. So I think I keep meeting a lot of startups, and I think 50% of people who have mentioned AI, but I'm struggling to find any AI piece there. So I think that's also a trend where everybody wants to take advantage of the ride that, okay, AI की अभी जो लहर चल रही है, उस लहर में हम भी शामिल हो जाएं और AI वर्ड जोड़ लें, AI enabled, AI supported. So these are two very common things. Jisme you can very quickly tossle around with words and get the kind of attention which you need. But yeah, I think just getting attention will not work probably. So slightly थोड़ा सा अंदर जाने के बाद में ऐसा लगता है कि यार there is something AI part तो कुछ ज़्यादा दिख नहीं रहा है. But yeah, I think but that's a good start. AI is already making a lot of changes, is already making a lot of transformations. And what you rightly said, Krish, I think those tools are very effective for any entrepreneur. So I think one of the biggest things which can probably impact each one, maybe small businessman, maybe a kirana shop owner, that it doesn't matter what kind of businesses you are in, but एक छोटे से बड़े किसी भी businessman को AI impact कर सकता है, and that's kind of an awareness which is required more than probably integrating AI at your product level, because out of 100% businessmen, probably 10% would only be building tech products, but there's a lot of 90% of entrepreneurs who are still, there are some core businesses, they're still contributing to a lot of in terms of economy, they're contributing to the employment creation in a very, very big way. Those MSMEs we talk about, those small traders, those small businesses. So there's a huge impact which can come from them, and somehow they feel aloof कि हमारी बस की बात नहीं है, मतलब ये AI हम तो प्रोग्रामर नहीं हैं, but then programmer होना, using a AI tool doesn't need to you be a programmer. So I think that's a big message which is absolutely missing across. Somehow वो सबको लगता है कि एआई के प्रोडक्ट मतलब आईटी प्रोडक्ट्स है तो ही एआई हमारे काम का है. सो आई थिंक that's a big way where I think a lot of awareness has to happen, and I think we all have to strive towards. I keep talking to a lot of small little entrepreneurs and I tell them यार तुम AI tool यूज करके तो देखो. बोले सर कैसे होता है? मैंने कहा यार तुम Facebook Instagram यूज करते हो ना, तो तुम AI tool भी यूज कर लोगे. So that's the kind of simplicity what it brings in, and I think that's a great opportunity for all of us. So I'll now open up for the participants here, as this is a Gupshup. So I would want participants to open up if they have any questions, if they want to have any comment, feedback on whatever we are discussing here. So maybe first, maybe Devendra, would you want to also take a lead and contribute in this conversation?
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for this Gupshup event and inviting us like every time. It's a pleasure joining here and discussing with all of you and some experts who are there every time. Sudin ji, namaste. Uh, like it was good to hear about it. Hello, Krishna Khan. Like you have added some points which are rightly mentioned. So I would like to add some point here. So yes, we were also in a myth of this AI while starting, but the concept was very clear. So we come from automotive testing background, and there are a lot of computers inside a vehicle. Now there is a term called software defined vehicles, and uh, when we say software defined vehicle, so I would say there is a computer taking care of every single function in the vehicle. So for a trunk opening and closing is one computer, for a door there is another computer, for sunroof there is another, and for radar and lidar there is another different computer. So when it comes to computer, there are several thousand variables that needs to be calibrated, and this is a big gray area and untouched market where this is still being done manually. Okay, the outcome is autonomous cars, or the outcome is like ADAS level 1, level 3, all those stuff. But the thing is, the way it is being done, the way it is validated, it's still manual, and that's where exactly we come into picture. And we have really at a very system and at a very base level adapted to this module, adapt to this Gen AI tools, where we will be able to validate this several different thousand variables that they use for their calibration on day-to-day basis, and we learn their trends and patterns. And even though we also call our product automotive intelligence in the back of it, like stellar AI. So the thing is, the real intelligence is like how many people engage together and contribute towards it. Okay, so we might have seen this captcha where we validate the captcha everywhere in the internet, right? So this captcha is nothing but the best AI model. Like many people helps you to validate it. It's not just based on one single input. So the same technology is being used here, and I would say the real definition of AI is like multiple sets of automation of a process will lead to intelligence, or multiple sets of uh, different variables that can be used for learning the trends and patterns will help us to give some predictions. And in the fourth year of Drive Tech, we are very happy to say that we have been able to do some prediction based on some stress strain that comes out at the core and the chassis of a vehicle, or maybe detecting some variables that have been used in other platform also. So in automotive, you might have seen one common engine is used across multiple different models. They're exactly where we make use of the intelligence, where we learn from the old data and help them to get to some good benchmark values, and help them save them a lot of time, effort, and resources. So this is exactly been like AI is the core of our business model, and we are gaining a good traction with it. And yes, that has to be used very deliberately. Like the integration of tools and system has to be such that you have to comply to your customer process. That is also one of the thing. And the nature of business is another. So that is most important, because if I am a SaaS or if I'm giving some on-premise installation, then the game changes completely. Like you mentioned the case of SBI. So SBI is doing completely for itself. And then there are several billions of transactions happening internally. So internally, I would see there is a lot of freedom. So this could be a biggest topic of discussion on using the AI tech. So it also depends on who is your customer, who is going to consume it, and where are you going to host the technology. So this is like the biggest thing of discussion that we have came across and struggling since last 3 years. But finally, with some own flavor to it, we have been able to get to a level where yes, we can give something on premise and it will still work. So adding a
Yeah.
bit of the infra part to that AI was very important from my side.
Yes, thank you, Devendra. I think that makes a lot of sense, because I think I recently met a startup from Mumbai trying to build a AI replacement to a financial accountant, and he was absolutely needing a very GPU kind of an infrastructure, and he was trying to request us कि सर कहीं से कुछ हमको GPU कहीं से arrange करा के दो. So I understand there will be a need of the right kind of infrastructure also. So thank you for your comments on that, Devendra. So now I'll request participants to open up for any questions if you have. If you want to comment, if you want to give any feedback, suggestions, anything is welcome. It's a Gupshup here. Yes, Himanshu, go ahead. You can unmute, and since the number is less, it really gives us a true feeling of Gupshup. So please unmute and ask your question.
Good morning, sir. I want to ask question. How might AI's role in the stock market influence global political event, and what implication does this have for AI entrepreneurs? Additionally, how does stock market volatility impact businesses, and what strategies can be employed to overcome these challenges?
Sure. So maybe Sudin, you want to go first on this?
Sure. No, there's already a very, very big impact. So I think the biggest impact is of AI. And from my experience of implementing large-scale digital transformation platforms and making everything, and the world today is accelerating, just as the earlier speaker was talking about autonomic systems, right? So from digital, seamless, contactless, now we are moving to the next generation, which is going to be automated, autonomic, self-audited systems, right? This is what we want. AI in the equity markets especially is already being implemented. We call it reg tech or regulatory tech. This is where your entire governance, risk and compliance and audit, which is a very, very important part of it, especially in regulated industries like BFSI, including the regulators, right? Like SEBI, right? They need to need to use these reg tech technologies so that the time between a complex event, right? Like for example, what happened, during COVID, it took nearly 3 to 4 months for banks, Supreme Court, RBI, Finance Ministry, and the entire ecosystem to figure out that there is COVID, there is shutdown, right? And the people who have lost their livelihood are not able to pay the EMIs. They are needy people. They need help. It took 3 to 4 months. How can a needy person, right, survive for 3 to 4 months? Can that complex event analysis be inferred in 2 to 3 days using AI, using data science, using data pipelines? Absolutely. So this is a direct benefit for AI to be used for things like, GRC, audit, right? All these compliance kind of issues, right? In fact, if the regulators get smart, it will also help companies, startups, and entrepreneurs to also do it the right way, right? Because now you're using this entire space of reg tech to improve your GRC. And whenever startups go for funding, sometimes some very, very basic mistakes are made, right? And that's why, the investors may be put off, right? Because you're not really adopting that GRC. So I think it's a big space. There is also use of AI for any fraud detection, right? The total fraud in our banking system, that is money lost by banks and their customers, was a whopping 5.3 lakh crores over the last 10 years. That's $6 to $7 billion is lost by banks and customers. My view, not the bank's view, although I'm not in the banks officially, is that money saved could have been given to the people who actually need the money, right? So I did a very interesting project on the fraud detection, where my model can predict the fraud, where the fraud is going to happen across which banking channel, whether it's going to be core banking or digital payments or ATM or POS or internet banking or tablet banking, or the new generation or digital banking. Right. So I think the use of AI is going to, just as I said, not only be for big companies, it is not only for technologists. I think use of AI is for the 99% of the non-technologists in organizations, especially the people in legal, management, HR, accounting, taxation, consultants. That's where actually AI is going to is badly required. So the biggest risk in not using AI and these transformative technologies is not doing anything at all. There's no other risk. For example, one of the, Dr. Deepak was talking about the AI, he has been seeing it from the 90s. So the first AI system was actually developed more than a century back by a company called Honeywell in the year 1913, 1914, in the form of an autopilot, right? That same autopilot can control the plane without the pilot's intervention. And that same autopilot is used in all commercial planes, and aviation is still the safest way to travel. Yeah, there were a few tragic accidents, but that was nothing to do with autopilot. It was to do with the manufacturing defect and the pilot error, right? So I think this is where we need to, and in fact, coming from a very large, government organization where my job was only to do AI and digital transformation, right? I think we have to take the shot. All these technologies, just to carry on where Krishnakant was talking about. There is for startups, there is a analytics TensorFlow analytics playground, where all your CNN, RNN, clustering, regression, AI, ML, data science is all merged into that one single tool. Right? Because sometimes entrepreneurs just talk about, okay, how do I do RNN or how do I do CNN? So these are all DIY technologies, just like cloud, and it's more fit for entrepreneurs to start using, especially MSMEs. And we are only talking about software, but on the hardware side, there is a lot of AI to be used in smart materials, smart cells, smart fuels, right? There's the entire hydrogen ecosystem coming around, right? So there is just an explosion. And again, the amount of jobs in deep tech and AI and emerging tech is 1000x our current annuity IT jobs, right? So I think it's a fantastic opportunity. Yeah, there would be the cases of what can go wrong with AI, but now even ethical and responsible AI is also taking shape. Previously, we didn't even discuss about ethical and responsible AI. Now that is being discussed. So I think I'm very positive about AI. I'm very positive about transformative technologies, and I'm as I said, either we conquer the world or we get conquered.
Sure. Thank you, Sudin. I think this DIY was a very good word which we use, where the AI would do things for us and it becomes DIY for us. So I think that's a good way, and I think ethical and responsible AI is definitely is a word of which is commonly talked about, and will have, as a humanity, I think it's our responsibility to look at the ethical and responsible ways of AI. So thank you for that. So I'll quickly move to Venkatesh ji. I think you have something you want to discuss. Over to you.
Yeah, thanks. Good morning. Thanks for this fantastic Gupshup. It's nice to have these conversations on a Sunday morning in a relaxed environment without the weekdays pressure. Although every day is a weekday for me in the startup, but Sundays are a good break. One of the most common implementations of the generative AI today is a simple conversational chatbot, right? I mean, designed well, etc. Now, the thing is that at least for my use cases, when I use the big providers like OpenAI or Google or whatever, the average cost for me is about $1 per conversation. today. Okay. Once I look past the free tires or any free offering that the provider may give me, that's my average cost. If this for the same cost, if I use Indian languages in text, then the cost multiplies. It's sometimes a multiplier of 2.5 because of the number of tokens consumed in Unicode. And I'm not even talking about speech, where the cost exponentially multiplies even more for Indian languages because I have to do translation, blah blah blah. And speech is still not very fantastic for languages other than Hindi. Hindi is kind of acceptable from most of the big guys. So the question I have is very simple. Over the past, we've seen the costs of cloud, mobile phones, etc., come down. Do we see anything similar in the generative AI domain where the costs might come down in future? Number one. Number two, for a small startup like me to host my own model based on a Llama 3 or any other open source is still a big nightmare because I still need a GPU, which again costs a bomb every month. So, any thoughts on the cost aspect from you folks? Because to take it to the Kirana store means cost, isn't it? So, any thoughts on this would be very welcome. We are sorry, just to wind up, Krishna, very quickly. What we are currently launching and experimenting with is, even in English, is pretty new, is to take soft skills to the people who don't have access to it using AI and using conventional HR techniques. We're the first ones to do it in English. Soon we will launch in Hindi. Currently, I'm not worried about cost because I have a fat sponsorship from Microsoft, but it won't last forever. So that's the background in which I'm asking the question. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
That's really interesting, sir, and I would want to connect with you further as well. Just to answer your question on the cost part, we have faced a similar sort of issue. But then, we have tried changing few models here and there, and this tokenization part of it, that how are we exactly sending the prompt to the model so that it takes that much of it consumes that much of bandwidth only when it comes to tokenization, that ultimately reduces the cost. So I think there is a very specific area when it comes to optimizing your prompting part that helps a lot. Number one, it had helped me up. Second is, there is a company called Leah Plus AI. They have recently raised a round from I think IPV Ventures. That was a 2 crore round. That was a seed round only. They have also received an RFP, I guess, from Qatar Innovation Center. Salish is the founder, very good friend of mine. They are from MIT. What they are actually playing around, they have built a conversational AI kind of model that can replace, human for call centers, or sort of like that, for customer support or for marketing. That has already been happening around the world, right? What they have done, pretty wettable, was they have reduced the cost. So if you go to any other platform for these sort of services, this will be about 10 rupees, 12 rupees or something like that. But they're giving it in 6.5 rupees. Right? To the enterprises. If you go to them for your requirement where the call flow is actually call inflow and outflow is less, then the pricing is 7.5 rupees or something. In Africa, wherein an IVR call cost around 30 rupees, they are being able to serve it in 15 rupees or so, 16 rupees or so. And that's where they are penetrating the market there. So I think that ultimately depends on architecting it in the right way, knowing the best AI models. You spoke about the regional languages also, being it Hindi or any other language. I quickly wanted to confirm, have you tried using Hanuman AI?
No, not yet. Not yet. I'll look at them here.
Correct. I'll suggest you to do that. That's again a indigenous model only, and they are ultimately working on only on specific Indian languages, and that's the only way for this guy. So the founder is Vishnu. I met him in Delhi, Vishnu Vardhan, and is a very celebrated entrepreneur across India now because he is only building it for Indian context, which can reduce the cost for for ultimately for the AI applications that we are building. So ultimately that might help you out there. So it depends on the architecting part of it, the prompting part of it. How are we structuring it up? And I think if you consult with a good guy who has done it already, reducing the cost, that will ultimately take you there. But still, that is a concern. Even this conversational AI platforms, they are not for people who does almost 200, 300 calls every day. It's not for them. Absolutely. It's for enterprises. Where the inflow is 20, 30,000 a month, 3,000 daily, 2,000 daily, there they can save cost. It makes no sense for people who are already at 200, 300 calls a day. They can hire a guy in 12,000, 15,000, 20,000 rupees and he can do better job, right? But when it comes to automating the large scale, then the conversational API comes in and maybe the other tools as well. But maybe probably people can figure the way out in order to implement it. But my answer to your question is it depends on structuring, architecting part, prompting part also, so that we can do it later on. This Microsoft Lab that I was talking about, this is specifically designed for that. You can check that what prompt am I sending, how many tokens is it consuming, right? So that tokenization part you can plan accordingly. I think a better consultant can help you out there in order to do that correctly.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Krish.
but Krishna Gandhi, my point is still that you still, even for large enterprises, you're talking of what, maybe a 30-40% reduction in costs. My question is, can we look forward to a future where the cost comes down by 90%, like
So,
mobile phones, etc.?
yeah, so I read
Maybe
by Venkatesh. So maybe Sudin, you want to react to this? How
correct.
the cost is going to
Yeah.
come down?
Yeah, I have a different take on it, right? I mean, for MSMEs, I mean, it's better that they do this, automated response through WhatsApp, right? That's a better way of doing it rather than, using all this large language models. I mean, with due respect to all these GPU processors and large language models, it's the TCO for that is one of the worst of its kind in the world. I mean, we are looking at blowing up so much energy and electricity for just a search and a response is, I don't think it's going to, really take off if the costs are going to remain so high. But you have companies who already are in the who have large digital ecosystems like the Facebooks of the world or LinkedIn's of the world, right, where it is much easier to implement through their application, right? So if I'm a MSME, right, who is having just a basic livelihood, right? I mean, let's say the small, the micro entrepreneurs, right? I would just stick to very basics, right? Because this kind of AI is not going to really help me with my product or service. Yes, it will help me with my customer interaction and the digital experience. But so I would use something, free or something available as is, right? So that will be much more beneficial than going and thinking big. And I would use AI for making my products smarter or making my hardware or software or network smarter. That's where I would probably, that would be my approach.
Yeah, it's nice that you mentioned WhatsApp, Surenji, because here's a little tip for the rest of my colleagues and listeners who are listening in. On WhatsApp, if we implement the API through the providers, it can be free if you reply to a WhatsApp message. Okay, so then that's a zero cost. The only cost is you generating the response. So on your website, you point to your WhatsApp business WhatsApp API implementation, and you say ask a question. If you reply to that within 24 hours, it is free of cost to you. So that's a very useful thing to remember.
I think yes, probably. I think one of the things which is coming out from this conversation is I think we have to we have to be very conscious. Do we really need to do we really need an AI in terms of at what level? So I think the cost is going to be a factor, but maybe for a lot of entrepreneurs, they may not need a full-fledged implementation on their own. But they can only ride on the existing large enterprise solutions, and probably their needs would be met easily. So I think that makes a lot of sense where unnecessarily होता है ना कि भाई AI वह कि चलो मेरे को भी करना है. I think this has to be a conscious call कि कौन से use case में really you need that level of computing, that level of application. Otherwise वो उस बहाव के जाने के चक्कर में I think we might end up finding ourselves on an island where probably we really feel lost about it. So I think that's also a very important a point which has come up here for everybody on the YouTube and everybody who is in the Zoom room right now, that let's not be blind with the AI term. मतलब let's not become blind कि बस AI है तो बस हमको ये बनाना है, ये करना है. There has to be a conscious call कि what is the use case and will the cost really matter, because nobody is going to pay you more. Maybe what you talk about AI कि वो आपके products में क्या smartness लाएगा, but finally I think cost is going to play its own, definitely a very important role here. So I think that there cannot be a lot of compromisation when it comes to the costing part of it. So I think that's a good point which has come up. Maybe somebody in the Zoom room would want to have another thought. We have about a couple of minutes. We can take one more question or any feedback or any comment from the audience here. Anybody else in the Zoom room who want to comment upon or have a specific question related to this topic of AI for entrepreneurs? Shubham, would you want to have anything with context of your journey? Abhay Sahu, I think he's a CA joining in from Amaravati. So, Abhayji, would you want to comment anything in terms of your profession, how it is impacting? Yeah, Devendra, you have something to comment?
Yeah, on the last conversation, so I would like to share my experience. So even though we are using this tech and intelligence in one area, so when it comes to customer facing, so we have been recently taken up with the Zoho suites that they are offering. So we have the Zoho websites and the Zoho other apps where they have a module called a chatbot. Okay, and you can integrate that and you can select multiple languages. It has a lot of international languages supporting, and it can even do your presentations conversion. It can even add the audio to it, not just the text conversion but also the audio to it. So somewhere where you are building a tech and somewhere where you are using it for your customer or for your internal process, so we need to choose deliberately that wherever it is deemed required and need not to go and reinvent the wheel. So it's better if we make use of the ecosystem. Okay, so using Zoho apps was really a very good thing that I experienced in terms of my customer facing. Now we have an entire support portal. We have this intelligent chat bot where people can interact and go to some specific areas and look for some articles. So this as well as the presentations can be converted into different language. So we have we had a person, a senior executive from a Japanese company who visited our facility, and to him our presentations were like readily available in also Japanese text as well as audio.
Yes.
So he was so amazed that he took some pictures, he took some recording from that video, and it was just very simple for us to create it. So that is something like effective use of ecosystem is really going to matter a lot. And we need to really think and integrate a lot of things together to get an intelligent outcome out of it. So
Yeah.
this is something which is
Thanks, Devendra, for that. So yes,
yeah.
Sudin, you want to react very quickly? We have one more conversation thread. Probably that will.
I just had one more point. Just as in technology, we're using successfully, security posture management, and more so now CSPM, cloud security posture management. The same way for the CAs and the entire CA ecosystem, and that's a huge ecosystem. We can use something called, AI-driven tax and accounting posture management systems. That is a very good way of automating and making sense of all these various rules and compliances and GST and all this stuff.
Yeah. I think one last conversation point. I think Dr. Satakshi has a point here where she's kind of keen to know how AI is going to impact in the medical field, especially when it comes to the hospital management and all the applications in the medical field. Maybe so a quick 1-2 liners from everyone in the Zoom room in terms of cohort. So Krish, you want to go first? A very quick take on how AI is going to impact the medical field.
I mean, I was just writing my response in the chat because I thought that'll take some time. I'll send it and then I'll probably answer it. So the thing is that we are still not ready. I mean, tolerating the mistakes by machines. If machine does a mistake, if human does a mistake, we are fine with it. But when machine does a mistake, we're not fine with it. So imagine a Tesla running on Bangalore road and hitting someone. Probably that will be in news. But we see a lot of accidents by human. So when it comes to medical field, the reliability is really affected. The 5C network, they solve it, having the AI as a radiologist assistant that generates the report, and then a human checks it that whether it is right or no and signs it and then give it to them. So that is saves time. So that's number one. Second big opportunity is into data. The consolidation of human treatment data, the analytics part of it, that is something that I've not seen any app working over there, which can be done using AI and having a consolidation onto a dashboard. So that's something that can be done. Third thing, hospital management softwares, that's a very big opportunity there. Probably we can talk later in detail about it.
Sure. Thanks, Krish. Sudinji, would you want to react to this very quickly?
Yeah, just quickly, we can use AI, just put on the chat, for scientific-based, evidence-based healthcare, right? And health insurance, based on rules and data, right? So there is a lot of inefficiencies in the system. Insurance companies lose a lot of money. The patient is at a loss. Sometimes all the treatment that is supposed to be provided, they might not get it. So there's absolute huge use of AI, and it's already happening. And this is one industry which desperately requires a lot of data science and AI.
Sure. Thank you, Sudinji. Thank you, Krish, for spending your time on a wonderful Sunday morning. I think we are almost on the time now. So thank you, everyone. Sabko mera namaskar. Over to Simran to take it forward. Thank you so much for joining in. We'll again meet next Sunday morning, 10 a.m. Simran, over to you.
Everyone, this is the schedule for future Gupshup sessions. If you want to connect more with us for new topics, you can take a screenshot. It will come in handy. You can also scan this QR code to join our Lemon community. Recently, our Innopreneur Season 11 has been launched. 2 rounds has already been conducted. The upcoming round is on 25th August in Nagpur. You can register by visiting our site, innopreneurs.in/startup contest. If you want to spread this word, you can also spread it in your groups or in your friends. If anyone else is interested, they can also join. You can also scan the QR code to visit our page where you can register for the Innopreneurs Startup Contest. If you have any more suggestions for future Gupshup sessions, a particular topic on which you want to take the Gupshup session, you can mention all those topics in the chat box. Thank you. Now, before departing, let us please all stand for national anthem.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे